Right. Let's do this thing. So episode 4.
Starting strong.
So episode 4, titled Blood and Bone. Ashur is trying to get into the Ludi Apparinalis. I'm gonna mispronounce so many words. And we start off with Achilles training. She's still trying to earn the respect of the men, and it's not working in her favor. There's an amazing conversation really early on between two of the I'm not gonna even attempt to pronounce their names, but the wife and the curly haired dude, two gladiators, two of the sort of leaders that sort of control who and what gladiators come in and out. And obviously, Asher has still not earned the respect of the people. That scene, I love the Ferox brothers. I think they are fantastic. And I really love the respect that they are given and how they are treated. These guys are not, they're not to be messed with. And the actors are amazing at just being bastards when they start throwing the fruit at Asher and the food. They're mouthy. They're good villains. They're really good villains. The writing this season, I mean, this season looks incredible. Just off, but the writing, I wrote down a few different bits, but just like little things like news to harden cock. I want to use that. I need to use that in my day to day at some point. I I need you guys to help me blow this up so that I can get, you know, to a point where doing weird things and saying weird things like that's considered like, oh, he's just a bit eccentric. At the moment, it's weird. The conversation of them talking about Asher and what they've got to gain by letting him in, I loved that. Graham McTavish as Chorus, he's not on Emmaus, but that's not a bad thing. He's his own beast. This man, this gladiator, this guy is an absolute beast, a complete unit. I mean, he's conflicted. There's at the end when he is, they give him these funny lines that it's a relief to not be in his company. And then there's a moment when him and Asher are waiting for Crassus, and he's like, "How do I look?" And he's like, "Are you trying to gain his favor?" Or I love the little lines that he gives. The look that Asher gives him when he says that is fantastic. This this episode is the best in the series so far. And said it comes down to the writing. And I do think a part of that is this is not a show you can understand if you've just got it on in the background. You have to pay attention to understand what they're talking about. And that, I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but it really does draw you in. The conversation between Asher and Chorus about the past gladiators and of the house and where they've fallen into this kind of, nobody trusts him. None of the Romans trust him. They understand who he is, what he's done, and no one wants him there. And I love that discussion of where the house has been, where it's going, and how he's trying so hard to get it to rise. And then you get to one of the best scenes in the entire series as the Roman women are just talking. They're just discussing the market. They're discussing this guy. They're like, "Oh, he's attractive. Oh, his wife's dead. Oh, really? Love that." And then it just falls into absolute chaos with the pirates. And this is a moment where you get to see the best of Asher and Chorus, because he's a man of Chorus is a his line later on. Any man with the skill and the means would have done the same as I did. Is him as a person. He is brute force, but he has this code and the way he holds himself, the way he fights. But then you move on to Asher, and it's the little moments. You forget that Asher wanted so badly to be a gladiator and he was never accepted. He was considered the lowest of the low, the worst gladiator in the school, which, by the way, the dude can throw down. Asher is a savage, but you can tell in those moments when he saves the daughter and they have that little look, that's the glory that he never got as a gladiator. And he laps up every single second. And I did even consider for a moment that he orchestrated the pirates coming in to try and take them so they could be there at the right moment. But I'm not too sure. I can never tell with Asher because that's what season one Asher would have done. This is a different timeline, a different path, and I don't know where they're going with that. And I love that it's thrown in this other direction, this other loop. I'm still praying that Agron comes back. I always will. He's the best. This episode has been the best of the series. The action stepped up, the writing, the dialogue, the music, even the shots. There's a shot where one of the Roman women, she falls down, she hits her head, she looks up to see Chorus fighting. You see the light flirt coming through, and you can't really see the fighting because of the blur, but it looks spectacular. Now, there are a few things. The setup with, oh, Crassus is coming, we knew it wasn't going to be Crassus. And I guess if you're watching this without watching the original series, which I'm really glad watching this, you don't need to watch the original series to enjoy this. And I think that's really important. But you knew Crassus wasn't coming. From the moment they said it, you knew he wasn't coming. And then when Ashur waits and he bows his head, he's like, mighty Crassus. I don't know how I feel about this new Caesar. The original Caesar had a scumbaggery look. You know, like you couldn't trust him from the go. This Caesar looks like he's modeling on the front of some kind of summer magazine. Now, obviously, we only got like 7 seconds of him. It's something about the hair doesn't look right. Just it didn't sit right with me. It doesn't change anything. This episode has been just incredible, absolutely incredible. Can't wait to see where Achillea's going. I will say I don't really care, barring Achillea and the dad. The rest of those gladiators are red shirts to me. I don't care if they go absolutely wiped. But this was Ash's episode, and this was Chorus's episode to really show why Ashur got this season. Because when they announced, oh, new Spartacus is coming, it's going to be House of Ashur, as a massive fan, like I've got one here, but I can't show because it looks like a 5-year-old did it. I've been a massive fan of this since the original series. Since they dropped the very first trailer, I've been the biggest Spartacus fan. But when they announced there was going to be a House of Ashur, even I was like, what? There's so many other stories you can tell. And if you're doing what ifs, you can do what if Crixus never left Spartacus. You know, or side stories. Where did Agron go? He was one of the only survivors. What if Gannicus had survived? You know, there's so many different stories, so many different ways that you can do this. But this episode cemented why they chose this first. And I am so glad they did. I'm in. That's where I'm at. That's my thoughts. That's what I'm thinking. But what I want to know is what you guys think. I really want to know. Did you like this episode? Because reading some of the comments, the reception has been very much, oh, I either really love it or it's super woke and I hate it. Which, if you're going to be like that, don't comment. Just go somewhere else. This isn't the page for it. We don't do that here. But I want to know what you think. If you weren't enjoying the first few episodes, did this sway you? Because I was already loving it, and this episode just took me completely. I'm completely in. I'm sold. I'm 1,000 denarii to watch. I don't have 1,000 denarii. I'm broke. I want to know what you guys think. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. And not wait for the next episode. And not wait. Thank you guys. Take care. Actually, little final thought on the topic of the comments. Look, if you are, I don't care. Comment what you want, spew what you want. You're not changing my mind. I love this show. I'm a positive channel. I'm eternally optimistic. I want to enjoy everything I watch. I love the fact that I personally didn't hate Fackham Hall. Wasn't my favorite, but I love that you guys let me know that you all thought that you enjoyed it. I love the reception I got. Just letting me know that although it wasn't for me, that you guys loved it, and that made me so happy because I want to enjoy everything. And if I'm not enjoying it, I want you guys to enjoy it. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate every single one of you that likes, comments, does everything that you do. I appreciate it. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.